My girlfriend said, "You're moving out, I'm keeping everything." I replied, "We can keep this clean." Then I logged receipts, sent a demand letter, called a civil standby, filed small claims, notified HOA, and I just smiled because the lobby fob video was only the first hit. Original post: I am 31. My girlfriend is 30, we are not married, no kids. We lived together 2 years in her condo, the deed is in her name, I paid half the mortgage and most utilities by bank transfer. I bought the washer and our couch on my card when we moved in, we split groceries. She, Nora, works remote in sales. I am a field tech for an internet company. Early starts, muddy boots, simple lunches. The shift started with tone. Nora began saying I was clutter. My tool bag by the door, my jackets on the hook. She wanted the place to look like a staged photo. I started putting the bag in the closet. I moved the jackets. The comments did not stop. One Thursday, she had a work dinner. She sent a selfie from a restaurant bathroom. The mirror behind her showed a fern and a blue tile wall. Her caption said, "Closing late." The time stamp was 9:12 p.m. When she came home, I smelled smoke on her hair. The restaurant she named is a no-smoking spot. I did not say anything. I put that detail on a mental shelf. The next week I noticed a new charger by the bed. Black, not my brand, not hers. The charging head was magnetic. I use Android, she uses Android. This one was for a watch. She does not wear a watch. I picked it up, then set it down. I felt the old urge to rush. I chose not to. I wanted proof, not a fight. On a Sunday afternoon, the building handyman came up to change our air filter. He is in his late 30s. Name tag says CAL. He is quiet. He looked at Nora too long as she joked about dust. She gave him a laugh I had not heard in a while. He left with the old filter and a grin. I looked at the watch charger again. 2 nights later, Nora stood over me in the kitchen. She did not sit. She spoke in a smooth voice like she was reading a line she had practiced. "You're moving out," she said. "I'm keeping everything." The words hit like a trap door. I braced for a yell in my own throat. It did not come. I rinsed a plate. I put it on the rack. I said, "Why?" She said, "This is my condo. I need space. I want a clean slate. You can get your things when I'm not here." She pointed at my boots and said they were visual noise. I did not argue. I did not beg. I looked at the watch charger again. I thought of the smoke on her hair. I thought of the handyman's grin. I said, "Okay." She looked surprised. Maybe she expected me to blow up and prove a point she already posted in a group chat. I went to the bedroom and wrote a short list. Do not leave tonight. Do not get loud. Inventory everything I paid for. Pull bank records. Photograph serial numbers. Learn my rights as a co-tenant. I took photos. Washer, dryer, couch, coffee table, TV, my tools, my bike on the balcony. I took photos of the watch charger too. Then I opened my laptop and searched illegal lockout. The city page said an owner cannot kick out a co-occupant without notice or court order. Police can do a civil standby for property retrieval. I took screenshots. I emailed them to myself. I set my alarm for early. Before bed, I slid a small Bluetooth tracker into my tool bag. I put another into the pocket of my bike pannier. I was calm. I was done with guessing. My first action would not be a scene, it would be a plan. Update 1, I left at 5 in the morning and did my first job. At 9, I drove back and parked across the street. Cal, the handyman, was by the side entrance with a cart. He wore a plain t-shirt, no name tag. He pushed a box up to the elevator. I waited. At 9:20, Nora came down in leggings and a hoodie, no makeup. They hugged, not a friendly side hug. A body hug with faces close. She handed him a key fob. He held it like a prize. I took 2 photos from my truck window. I did not feel rage. I felt like I was watching a show I had already seen the preview for. I called building management and asked if contractors can accept resident key fobs. The receptionist said no. I asked for her email. I sent the 2 photos and asked her to confirm the policy in writing. She replied 5 minutes later with the rule number. I saved it. I texted Nora. "I can meet you at noon for a conversation, lobby seating." She wrote back, "We have nothing to talk about." I replied, "We do, noon." She said, "Fine." At noon, I sat by the plant wall. She walked up fast. She crossed her arms. "You're leaving by Friday," she said. I'm keeping the couch and the washer, they match my aesthetic. I took out printed bank statements. I put one on the table with the washer receipt, my name, the card ending in 1720, the date, the model number. I put the couch invoice next to it, same card. I kept my voice low. I paid for these. We can do a fair split, or we can involve small claims. She rolled her eyes. You love paperwork, she said. You never fight for me, you only fight for objects. I slid the photos across, Nora and Cal, the key fob passing between them. You brought a building employee into this, I said. He does not get to keep the job and his hands in your condo. Her face changed. It was quick. Then it was gone. This is harassment, she said. The word felt big in her mouth. I did not argue with the word. I said, we can keep this clean. You give me a weekend to move. You agree to return the items I bought or pay their depreciated value. We sign a simple property agreement in front of the desk camera. We both walk away. She started crying without tears. Cal stepped out of the elevator and saw us. He looked at me, then at the desk guard. The guard looked at the key fob in his hand. Cal slipped it into his pocket like a coin trick. I'm done here, I said. I stood. Do not lock me out. That is a crime in this city. I have the statute. If you try it, I will call for a civil standby and I will file a report for illegal lockout and I will copy your HOA board. I did not raise my voice. I packed my papers and walked out. Update 2, I took the rest of the day off and sat at the county law library. I printed a petition for Replevin form to reclaim my property if she refused to release it. I also printed the small claims packet. I called a tenant clinic that gives free advice on Tuesdays. The volunteer lawyer told me to send a demand letter listing each item, the proof of purchase, and a deadline. He told me to offer a clean swap, items for keys. He told me to get a police incident number if she tried to lock me out. I emailed a calm demand letter that night with the list, serial numbers, and 2 options. Pick up with a neutral third party present, or pay me the listed values less 10% per year. I copied myself and blind copied a new Gmail account I had made for a paper trail. I also set a mail forward to my work address so she could not hold my bills. At 6 a.m. the next day my tracker pinged. My tool bag moved to the basement storage. I walked down and saw Cal loading my bag onto his cart with other junk-out items. He jumped when he saw me. I took out my phone and started a live video with the date and time. That is my property, I said. He started to say it was in the hallway. He looked at the camera. He put the bag down. Nora appeared at the top of the ramp in a robe. You are not allowed down there, she said. Call the police. I said, great idea. The officers arrived and did not care about our history. They cared about paper. I had printed receipts. I had photos. I had my demand letter. I had the city page about illegal lockouts. Nora had a robe and a shaky voice. Cal had a red face and a key fob he should not have. The officers issued a civil standby. I had 30 minutes to take my clearly identified items. I rolled out the washer I had bought with a dolly a neighbor lent me. I took the couch legs and left the frame she claimed. I took my TV, bike, tools, and boxes. One officer wrote in the notes that a building employee appeared to be present during a property dispute. I asked for the incident number and wrote it in my notebook. That afternoon, I sent the incident number to the building manager with the photos of the fob exchange. I asked if their contractor policy allowed personal relationships with residents while on duty and whether personal use of resident fobs was permitted. The manager replied within an hour that it did not. He asked for a meeting the next morning. Nora tried to control the story online, a post on her private Instagram. When a man cannot accept a breakup and steals your washer, she wrote over a photo of an empty laundry nook. I took a screenshot and did not reply. Meanwhile, 2 neighbors DM'd me a video from the lobby camera where Nora handed Cal the fob. One neighbor said, he did this with 4B last year. She moved out crying. I asked if the neighbor would send a short note to the manager. She did. At the manager meeting, Cal sat with his jaw tight. The manager had a folder on the table. He showed us the building policy and the part about fobs. He asked Cal if he had accepted a fob from a resident. Cal said he did not recall. The manager slid a print from the lobby camera across the table. Cal stared and said nothing. By the end, Cal was suspended pending termination. The manager told Nora her guest privileges for non-owners were limited until her next HOA meeting. She had to sign a form acknowledging the fob violation. She did, her hand shook. My demand letter deadline hit. Nora sent back an email through a free lawyer website trying to say my washer was a gift. I attached the payment plan text from when we bought it where she wrote, "You cover the washer and I'll grab the rug." The volunteer lawyer called it evidence of cost sharing. I filed my small claims case and paid the fee. I served her by certified mail. The summons landed hard. She called and left a long voicemail about how I was destroying her peace. I did not respond. I sent her a one-line email, all communication in writing. She then tried to get Cal to return the fob quietly. He could not. He no longer had access to the office. The HOA learned of the fob incident from the manager report. The board president sent a letter to residents about safety and contractor boundaries. People gossiped in the elevator. Nora hated that more than the couch. She posted less. 2 weeks later, we had our hearing. I brought receipts, photos, and the police incident number. She brought hurt feelings. The judge was quiet. He asked 3 questions. He ordered Nora to return the couch cushions and pay me $650 for the depreciated washer because she refused to release it. He also warned her about self-help eviction tactics. She looked like the floor had tilted. By month's end, Cal was gone. Building management changed the contractor company. I saw a notice on the board about new background checks. One small man's poor boundaries cost a firm a contract. I did not feel joy. I felt done. Update 3, Nora texted 2 months later. "Can we talk like adults?" she wrote. "I want to apologize." I said we could meet in the lobby at 2 p.m. with the desk camera running. I asked her to bring the couch cushions and the $650 money order. She wrote, "So cold." I did not answer. At 2 p.m. she arrived with a tote. She looked thinner. She wore a clean sweatshirt and no ring because there had never been one. She set the cushions down and handed me the money order. "I was scared," she said. "About bills, about being alone. I wanted to hold on to the place and I used you like a wall I could push. Cal made me feel like I had a friend who could fix everything. He said owners have all the power." "Owners follow rules too," I said. "You found that out." She bit her lip. "Do you miss us?" she asked. I looked at the ceiling sprinkler. I looked at the couch cushions. "I miss not being tense inside my own home," I said. "I have that back." She nodded. She started to say more and then stopped. "You won," she said, but softly, like she was asking what the word meant. "No," I said. "I enforced a boundary. The rest is fallout from choices you made." A week later, she sent a last text. "I might sell the place." I wrote back, "Good luck." That was it. Final update, 4 months passed. I moved into a small 1-bedroom over a nail salon. The walls are thin, but the rent is fair. I bought a used washer that fits. I rebuilt a couch from a marketplace frame with my returned cushions. It looks strange and honest. It is mine. Nora sold the condo at a small loss because of a special assessment. The HOA raised fees after the contractor change. A neighbor told me she moved in with a friend for a bit, then rented a studio. I do not know where she is now. I do not need to. Cal left the building scene. A tech at work said he saw him doing gig jobs out of a pickup. Another neighbor told me the old contractor lost 2 more accounts when the fob story spread. People like safe doors. I took care of the boring parts. I changed my address everywhere. I froze my credit for a month and then lifted it after I closed the small loan for the used washer. I built a simple inventory list with serial numbers in a file called House. I printed 1 copy and taped it inside my broom closet. I now label the backs of big items with a strip of masking tape and my initials. It is not paranoia, it is clarity. I also got quieter inside. I sleep. I run by the river twice a week. I learned to cook rice without burning the bottom. I keep the tool bag on a shelf and the jackets on 1 hook. My place looks lived in, not staged. When I come home, the air feels like mine. That is a kind of wealth I did not count before. Friends asked what happened. I gave them a short version, an ultimatum, a plan, paper, court, done. A few said they would have set her on fire online. I shook my head. The paperwork was the flame. It burned clean. It left facts where feelings had tried to live. I sometimes think about the first small odd thing. the watch charger. It was not proof by itself, it was a clue. The old me would have flipped the table and lost. The new me took a picture, waited, and moved in a straight line. That line saved me money and time and a piece of my mind. If there is any advice, it is this. When someone says, "You're moving out, I'm keeping everything," they are testing your belief that you have no power. Find the power that exists in leases, in statutes, in incident numbers, in receipts. Revenge can be as calm as a stamped form and a deadline. It can look like walking out of a lobby with your tool bag and your bike while a man who thought he was the fix stares at the floor. Last week I opened the broom closet to get a dustpan. The list was there: washer, couch cushions, TV. Tools, bike, each with a check mark. I added one more line in pen. Peace. I did not check it. Peace is not a thing you own, it is a thing you do, so I put the pen down, I swept the floor, I sat on the rebuilt couch and ate cheap noodles and watched the last light leave the window. The room did not feel empty. It felt right. The door locked behind me with a sound I trust. Then it was quiet again, the kind of quiet where I can hear my own thoughts and do not need to explain them to anyone.